Why, hello, muggles and magic folk alike. Welcome to your big September 4th surprise. Yes, this is something that just popped into my head a couple of weeks ago after I had reread a certain book at a certain point in time. And I said to myself, I may have done a documentary on this now classic series, but I never actually gave a true review. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I like to refer to as the Harry Potter Redo series, in which I reread all the books and rewatch all the films in kind and give you guys my thoughts on both ends, as well as a couple of other things that I think you will all be very happy with. So it's going to take a while, I know, but that's just because of the fact that this is being done in a way that I feel is more comfortable for me. And I really do feel that even if it is going to be when I decide to stop making YouTube videos, this series will see itself to the very end over the next 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. So let's start off with the very first one, the one where it all began. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, just a little bit of a background on me. I discovered Harry Potter thanks to my mother and people who were constantly talking about it because I really wasn't the biggest reader. I was mostly reading stuff for school. I had read a few books here and there that I sort of liked but never truly loved a book. So when Harry Potter was literally blowing up in 1999 when I first heard about it, and when they had finally started talking about how there may be some movies in the works, I said, it's time to finally see what these books are all about. And now, I am a Ravenclaw alum, as well as a massive, massive Potterphile. I have tons and tons of Harry Potter stuff, from t-shirts, to magic wands, to Funko Pops, to even a Ravenclaw tie and scarf. But these books are definitely something truly special. So when I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I was just blown away by this book. I loved it. I loved the look of it, especially because the cover is absolutely beautiful. This, of course, is the Scholastic print, and this is not a first printing of the book because, believe it or not, I've read a first printing of the book. You know that they have the numbers on the binders, but I actually read this copy of the book that didn't have a number because nobody knew that it was going to become the series that it was. But reading this book at the time when I knew that there were 3 books, this was definitely such a great read. I loved the characters. I loved how simple yet complex the story was, and it was quite crazy to believe that a children's book was actually something that adults were reading. So I was officially hooked. I love Harry, Ron, and Hermione, all of the other cast of characters. This book's story is just so beautiful, even though it also has so many sad tones. I mean, you know the book. A boy unfortunately lost his parents. He has no idea that he belongs to this secret world of wizards and witches, and he is recruited to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry to become one of the magical elite. But what he also doesn't know is the fact that there was a major dark piece to his past, and he discovers what happened to his parents. He discovers he who must not be named, even though we all say his name in vain all the time, just as much as we say the F word. But he meets his new friends, Ron and Hermione. He learns about magical studies, he learns about Quidditch, and he learns about the magical world and the history that is involved. And at the very end, when you see him go on his quest to recover the Sorcerer's Stone, which is a very powerful magical artifact from falling into the wrong hands, you get the ending that you may not have expected. I definitely didn't expect it, but some find the ending of this book very predictable. But at the end, you're left satisfied, and you're very excited for what is yet to come in the second installment, because this book leaves it wide open for a sequel. That was my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a short book, it's very family-oriented. If you have not read it, I have no idea what you're doing. I mean, I could give spoilers left and right, but I'm not going to because I'm just a nice guy. But this is a great read, and I have read this book now a total of 4 times. And 3 times with this copy, but 4 times with the brand new copy, which is basically what influenced me to do this whole project. And that, of course, is the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone Illustrated Edition. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at this amazing born-again version of this now classic story. So, of course, we have the Harry Potter series Born Anew, thanks to J.K. Rowling and the illustrator of this beautiful book, Jim Kay. It is such a great revisioning to the story because people who wanted to reread this series, as many people do constantly, this is just a way to look at it in a new light, because this literally is a storybook picture book for kids. I mean, look at the beautiful picture here with the Hogwarts Express, and of course you've got the logo of Harry Potter with the name of the book, and very much like the original ones, you've got the year number right here on the side of the book, on the binder, with the name of the book, and on the back you even have more illustrations. And there's a really nice thing here that is said by J.K. Rowling about Jim Kay, basically giving her book life. And this book has so much life in it. I mean, look at these beautiful pictures that are illustrated by this guy. Beautiful pictures of characters, of the Hogwarts castle, and even as you're reading the book itself, there are illustrations all over while you're reading. And what I love so much about this book is that we already know what the characters look like in the worlds, thanks to the film, but Jim Kay has still managed to give such originality to his illustrations, so they don't look that much like the film's version of these characters. He literally made them his own. And there's even some other bonuses here, like Newt Scamander's Guide to Trolls, and there's even a picture later on in the book that shows various species of dragon's eggs. But while you're reading this book, you have all these little things that just pop up in front of you, and you're like, oh, that's really cute. It just makes you want to continue to read on. And even the colors of the pages are even changing as you're going through the book. So it keeps you interested, even though this book never is boring, and I'm always interested in rereading this series. It's just an absolutely fabulous addition to my Harry Potter collection. I mean, people were saying to me, why are you getting this new book even though you've already had this and you already read it many times? Well, this is why, you know? This is the reason why. Because of the fact that they've made something like this. As I said at the very beginning, this is a re-envisioning of Harry Potter, and even if you do have this book already, and you don't have this edition, you must, because especially if you plan on having kids one day, or if you already have kids, and you want them to get into this amazing world, then you've got to show them this book, because they will just get sucked in right away. And now let's take a look at the 2001 film, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So before we get into the review, this series is also going to include a very special bonus. Because I don't have just any version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on DVD or Blu Ray. I have the Ultimate Edition collection of the Harry Potter films. So before we review this movie, let's get a little unboxing going, shall we? So let's begin with the first of 7 boxes. Yes, 7 disc sets in this Ultimate Edition. As a matter of fact, they were kind enough to give us both Deathly Hallows movies in one box set. But we are going to be taking a look at the very first of these gargantuan DVD/Blu-ray box sets. This, of course, is a DVD set, and it is a 4-disc set. And first, of course, we have to admire the beautiful work on the front sleeve, which basically gives us the name of the film, the main cast of characters in the age bracket that they were, and also a big year 1 on the bottom right-hand corner, just like it was in the books. There's also a little blurb on the bottom saying that there is a whole documentary that is included. It actually is part 1 of 8 of them. But of course, we gotta take a look at the side, which is basically the title, and of course there is a little picture on the very side. And on the back of the DVD, we have everything that is included with a whole bunch of other blurbs. But let's not worry about those, because we want to take a look at what's inside, I'm pretty certain. So let's remove the sleeve. And what we have here is another beautiful little display here. We've got some beautiful artwork on the front, as well as a smaller version of what was on the front cover. And on the back, we have a little picture of Hogwarts, of course. So now we're going to open it up, because it opens up like this. And when you open it up, it's even better. There's clips and pictures of the movie, and there's this beautiful picture of Harry walking down a flight of stairs. And then, of course, we got to go take a look at what is inside. And what is inside, of course, is another package. It's pretty much the exact same thing. It's the movies itself, and then we open it up. And we've got 4 discs. We have the original movie, we have the extended edition of the movie, we have 1 disc of special features, and then of course we have a gold disc, which is the special documentary that comes with this specific DVD, and it is called Creating the World of Harry Potter, The Magic Begins. So the other special features disc is pretty much all the special features that were originally on the original DVD. And of course, on the other insides of the sleeves, you also see a listing of the special features and a little nice comment saying welcome and all the other ones that are coming. But there's more, everybody. We're not done yet, because in here we've got 2 little things. We've got a little envelope which says Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on the front, which is basically the same color as the box. And inside we have even more goodies. Too many goodies for my taste. We've got, first and foremost, a bonus digital copy of the movie. We have a little advertisement which we really don't care about. It's basically a code for the digital copy. But we also get these 2 very nice cardboard trading cards. So they're very durable. They, of course, are cards 1 and 2 in a series. And it is, of course, Harry Potter, which is card number 1. And Professor Minerva McGonagall, played by Maggie Smith, as number 2. And to top it all off, we have in each and every one of these a book, which basically coincides with the special bonus piece documentary that is included in this DVD box. And this is, of course, number 1 of 8, which is called Creating the World of Harry Potter. And it's a beautiful little book. It's got scenery, it's got illustrations, it's got actors behind the scenes and getting ready to perform the specific roles in the film, scenes from around the sets and everything like that. Just some beautiful stuff, and everything is also clearly labeled, and it even goes on further to show you what is yet to come with future films. Like in this one, we've got pictures of the Prisoner of Azkaban, we've got pictures of the Goblet of Fire, etc., etc., etc. So that's the box, everybody. It is a beautiful box. It is definitely one of my prized DVD possessions, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys when I review the next installment in this DVD box set. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the 2001 film, was a movie that a lot of people were excited for, especially being Harry Potter faithful, but a lot of people were very skeptical because people didn't know if they were going to get it right, because books had suddenly become the biggest in thing after a very long period of time. And these fans are diehards. These are fans that go up with Lord of the Rings fans, Star Wars fans, Trekkies, fans of comic book movies, you name it. Harry Potter fans are some of the die-hardest fans. So you don't want to piss off these fans. But J.K. Rowling was someone who was very close with the filming, and it is crazy to believe that Chris Columbus was the director of the first film. And they got some great British actors, including Richard Harris, Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, just to name a few. But the more important thing was getting the accuracy of the 3 main kids, and getting these no-names, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson, to play Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They did a very, very good job. I mean, granted, the first film, you can totally tell that they had no idea what they were doing, and it looked like some of them were just reading right off of a page, especially when you take a look at Emma Watson's facial expressions. But you know what? That's kids for you. The important thing is they had a great movie revolving around them with a great cast of characters. Also, some of the other side characters, such as Matthew Lewis playing Neville Longbottom, he was definitely one of the fun parts of the film. I also love Tom Felton as Draco Malfoy. He was the one kid that had the most acting experience because he had been in a couple of movies beforehand, so he was definitely one that actually did have a little bit of acting talent behind him. But everyone else definitely had their roles to play, like Devin Murray, who played Seamus Finnegan. I loved how he constantly got his hair blown up. It was really, really funny. And the movie itself is very faithful to the book, Although I think its biggest weakness is the fact that it's a little too faithful to the book, and that's because of the fact that it's a very, very long movie, and because of how accurate they tried to get it, it really can drag at certain points in time. And considering the fact that this copy of the DVD that I have also includes the extended edition, there are some scenes that they really didn't need there, and that's probably the reason as to why they took these scenes out of the movie. Though some of those scenes, I would say maybe 2 of them, were very important to keep, and there were a couple of things that were changed. I mean, if you read the book, you know that all the kids that go into the Forbidden Forest, that's not the right group of kids that go in there. You also do know for the fact that some of the descriptions physically for the characters are not the same as they are in the book. And there are even some parts of the book that are moved around a little bit for the sake of making it flow better in the film. But it doesn't necessarily hurt the film. It was the first of many. Some people at this point in time didn't even think it was going to be an entire saga of films, because when this movie came out in 2001, J.K. Rowling had already announced that the 5th book was on the way, and that it was going to be a 7-part book series. But at that point in time, in 2001, they were just anticipating this to be a 3-film series and just stop from there. So nobody really knew what was going to happen with these films. There is also a brilliant score from the legendary John Williams, and it's definitely one of his stronger composings that he has done up until this point. I mean, everybody knows Hedwig's theme when you hear it, and the fact that they got him to be the person who composed the film of a soon-to-be wonderful and high-grossing franchise, it's just absolutely fantastic. One of the other weaknesses in the film is definitely the special effects. I mean, you also have to understand that at the time, the special effects in terms of the things that they were trying to accomplish here were still very much in their baby stages. I mean, The Phantom Menace in 1999 was one of the first that really took advantage of all of the CGI and started to get a little bit more perfected literally 1 year after with movies like Spider-Man and with Lord of the Rings. But you know, as far as first installments of big franchises go, you have to start somewhere, and despite all of its weaknesses, it still is a very fun movie, but it is definitely far from perfect. So, for a first installment, I would say definitely give this one a shot if you haven't watched it. If you are a purist of the book, you may have your beef with it, but it doesn't mean that it is a bad movie. It is executed as best as it possibly could, and you gotta give them props for trying to stay true to the fan base and the source material. But it ended up being one of the highest grossing films of 2001. It was definitely one that was seen numerous times by many, many people. So I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone 2.5 out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys the second installment of this wonderful Harry Potter project that I am doing. So for now, please leave your comments in the box below, and you know how much I love to have discussions about Harry Potter. And I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.